So today I'm joined by Alex, who's a very good friend of mine. You may know him from, how many videos do you have on YouTube? You must have over
A lot, yeah.
He stopped shooting videos like
Years
2
ago.
years ago.
Yeah, years ago, yeah.
But now, what are you doing now actually?
Do you want the introduction or?
Yeah, go for
it. Give us the introduction.
Okay, just really quickly. My name is Alex. I'm 23 years old. Originally from Moldova. Lived in Dublin my entire life. Started YouTube when I was in like six years, so back in school. Did that. Went to college in UCD. For a couple of years as well. Sorry?
You documented a lot of that?
Kind of, yeah, a lot of that, like leaving cert, fitness, the college life, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then kind of got roped into the college life and partying and going out, kind of stopped doing YouTube, kind of back and forth and stuff. Had a podcast for a while, kind of stopped that, did an internship with Microsoft, finished that, and then over the last year I've kind of trying to set up my own thing online with online weight loss coaching business, and then that's basically up to date.
Cool, yeah,
That's
ready.
so
Dave, want to give an introduction? You also went to UCD, you did commerce.
Commerce, yeah.
Podcast is actually really successful as well.
Yeah, it was fun. The podcast is fun. That's why
yeah.
I said I'd come and do this one because I love this whole format of just having a chat.
I actually asked Alex to co-host with me, but he said nah, he's too busy. But
Unfortunately.
He's a busy guy.
Yeah.
Dave, so Dave's one of my best mates. He's from Drogheda.
Yeah, man, like, this is I didn't even know I was going to be on
today,
to be honest. I sent like a text thinking I was just going to oversee how it went, just a bit of experience. But yeah, my name's David, I'm from Drogheda as well. Mates with Leighton for a good few years now, and just graduated there from UCD, and I have my own, it's a very, very strange niche. I sell education and like special needs supplies online to teachers and special needs stuff, and I'm doing that full time right now.
That's a huge market, man.
Yeah,
that's a the disability like market is like $1 trillion.
I'm crazy. I'm trying to virtually integrate like stationary and educational resources to like a digital marketplace. So that's my goal currently.
That's pretty interesting.
And we're doing pretty well. We're growing.
I hope you know what I'm saying. But his ROAS and his ads are 10.
Wow, shit.
I was.
What are you selling? Crack?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough. We sell like a range of special need resources.
Okay, yeah.
That is it's strange completely how it's evolved. So we originally set up our company to like sell like pre-made packs of primary school supplies.
Yeah.
So like 20 copies, 20 pens, 20 like just to supply a class.
Like literally just supplies.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that wasn't doing anything, and I do all the social media and everything like that, and I reached out to a few respected influencers for primary school teachers, which was crazy. I didn't even know
that they exist.
I didn't even know they existed.
Like Moon Tour Kate and
They love their moon tours.
It's 2020.
Yeah, they love their moon tours. So I reached out to a few of them. I'm like, hey, we're trying to grow here. We're an Irish business. Any suggestions? If you recommend a few things to us, we'll give you your own package that you can brand and market. And we'll market it too, and we'll send you a free one. You can do a giveaway and stuff. And slowly over the course of 6-7 months, we got a really, really like independent and unique product range from all these teachers recommending what they want. So now I'm working on like a premium brand for everything. So having like a 30-40 euro one, and then like a 10-20 euro equivalent of all the products.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. Actually, funny enough, 7 of our 10 bestsellers have been recommended to us by teachers in the industry, being like, we need something like this.
And then you just provided it.
So we give them,
listen to the market.
give them a free one. Ask them, just tell them to send people over to us, and we have the whole thing.
That's mad.
100%. That's good. That's good. So the weight loss thing, are you still going at that?
Yeah. So.
Because me and Alex have had about, like, we coach it every second month maybe, and anytime we were on the phone, we're on the phone for like 4 hours, and we're just throwing ideas. And we're always one of the best conversations.
It's good.
So I don't know how much you want to share with it. It's launched already, hasn't it?
Yeah, so basically what we tried to kind of start doing is, I already explained it to you, I'll just explain it just for people, is basically I was sitting in my room back in, while I was still doing my internship in Microsoft, and I was working from home one of the days. Don't tell my boss, but I've left that place. But I was working from home one of the days, and at the time I'd always heard of like the Ty Lopez stuff and like social media marketing and just everyone just making money online business, online this, that, and the other, drop shipping, blah blah blah. Actually, me and my brother set up a drop shipping store, and we had a crack at that for like a couple of months as well. There's a couple of different stores. Our most successful product that we actually got a few like a couple $100 in sales were these like cat slippers.
Yeah, man. The animal niche.
You know what? Those octopuses, man. People are drop ship those little reversible octopuses. Did you see them? People are drop shipping them for ridiculous money. I see them everywhere.
Yeah,
that's a cool story.
We had a bit of crack with that, and we realized like this isn't really like. Not sustainable, but it was just hard to kind of come up with like a product. Then you need a lot of revenue, you need a lot of like cash flow there to just like burn in advertising and stuff. So then I stopped that and I was like, all right, social media marketing requires no startup costs. You just reach out to local businesses, whatever, you run their Facebook ads. And that was kind of my initial plan, and I was doing that for a while. And then one day my brother just walked into my room, and we were because we had gone through Sam Ovens' course, who is like a big guy in the consulting niche, and he has a digital product. Exactly. And you're the one that actually mentioned him to me, because I was on the Ty Lopez stuff, which in hindsight, Ty Lopez's stuff is crap. It's just a load of like concepts from loads of different things just lumped together. And he doesn't even teach it. He just has other people to fucking teach it for him. Yeah.
But with the Sam Ovens one, it completely just shifts your mindset.
Oh, game changer.
It's literally a formula.
Game changer. It just completely changed my perspective. So then I was like, man.
Did you finish the whole course? Yeah.
Yeah. I went through all of it. Yeah, and I've gone through it again, like a few, like certain parts of it a few times. But then I was basically like, man, you know what? Like, what's my actual expertise in? Like, what do I really have like good expertise in? And I've been into fitness and gone to the gym, nutrition, and all that kind of stuff for years.
Yeah. That was a huge part of your YouTube channel.
Yeah, like fitness and stuff like that, but just as part of just my life as well, not just like going to the gym, but like really like educating myself over like years of trial and error and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I looked at the kind of fitness niche at the time, just fitness in general. And like when you look at it, like most people that like are kind of into the gym, the younger people that go to the gym, that train regularly, the information that's available there to them is, you know, a lot better than when you compare it to the general population, the like middle-aged demographic, the people that work a 9-to-5 job, that maybe are quite successful in their career and like stuff like that, but never quite figured out the weight loss thing out. Because there's just so much. It's probably one of the industries that's most kind of like fucked in terms of just bad information,
too much noise,
so much like it's just crazy, it's just so bad. And the thought process was, if we could come in with a product that really just focused on the education, a digital product, the education aspect of making people understand, look, this is why you can't lose weight. Because the big problem is basically diets, most of the popular diets out there have about a 5% long-term success rate, meaning that most people can lose weight, but the problem is they gain it all back afterwards. So that's the problem we're trying to solve. And the way we position ourselves is that like diets isn't the answer, we're the answer. You need to educate yourself. This is the process, a sustainable way. And the way we kind of wanted to initially package that and position that was as like a digital information product. People go through a course with like a coaching kind of thing tagged onto the back of that, with like support through like a Facebook group, weekly Q&As, all that kind of stuff. And so we built that product out over like 6 months or so. And then coronavirus hit. Coronavirus hit, and that kind of threw a spanner in the works for a couple of weeks. And they were like, do you know what? Let's just go and do it. So then we just started building out these intricate funnels and like ads, burned about $2,000 worth of ad spend and nothing. Ads were performing great, landing page and the VSL, the like funnel wasn't performing that great. So then we were like, okay, maybe like selling, maybe we need to like rethink this. Okay, so we had a period where we were going to kind of shift directions. We were like, do you want to just go back and redo the entire course again and just make it better?
Wow. How many hours is the course, or how long is it?
Like the initial course was like 16 hours worth of content, which we just realized, because after we went through the process of actually trying to sell, we realized that we built something out that made sense to us, but wasn't very customer centric. It didn't really take the customer in mind.
Okay, think it's a bit too advanced, or
too much unnecessary crap, basically.
And just to touch base, are you in the course? Are you touching base on different diets and then pick themselves, or are you?
No, so we're outlining a completely different, like a paradigm shift in terms of how to think about weight loss, because that's what you kind of have to get with when you position something like this.
What is that approach? What is that paradigm shift?
Well, so basically, not to bore people with the details of like nutrition, but like all diets work by the same way. Okay, they try to put you in what's called a calorie deficit, eating less calories than you burn in a day. Like that's scientific fact. That's how you lose weight. And basically, the weight loss industry or the diet industry for the last 60 plus years has just been marketing the same thing but packaged in a different way. Basically,
it's kind of obvious that.
Like in the 90s, Atkins was all the rage. Yeah. Then it was low carb, and now it's keto. Basically, all variations of the same fucking thing, like not eating carbs.
Yeah, very true actually. Yeah.
But what works?
I even remember I went carnivore for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
Because I read it, like I did feel great though.
But like, but the basic idea is that you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. How you achieve the calorie deficit is completely up to you. Yeah. And the most important thing is that you're able to actually stick to the diet. So the way to actually get sustainable results with weight loss is to find an approach or a way of eating that lets you be in a calorie deficit while just actually like living your life and not fucking banging your head against the wall because you're craving sugar or craving carbs, because that's just not sustainable. So that's kind of how we did it, and then I don't know where I was before then. I
have actually a question about that. You said that when coronavirus showed up, it kind of fucked you up completely. For me, anyways, I feel like there was like two groups of people after coronavirus. There's like people who either took the lockdown period to be like, I'm gonna get in like fucking ridiculous shape over these next few months. And then I was in some shape during coronavirus, man. And then there was the other people who was like, this is shit, let's get pissed drunk on Zoom every night and order a lot of food.
But it was with everything, not just fitness. It was even with like business, it was with career. People were like, oh, this is the end of the world. There was that two kind of
mindsets. I agree, 100%.
Everything's over. Or like, this is the time to really hustle down and like work.
So did that affect any, like, for your insight into the whole thing? I mean, obviously it's easy to look back in hindsight being like, oh, maybe people were looking to get fit then. Did that have no effect, the people looking really to get fit and healthy?
Yeah, so I'll say that. So at the time, that wasn't even what we were really focused on or considering. Sure. So that didn't really play a huge role in what we were doing. And the second course is fully done and launched, and we basically so it's shorter, much more centered on getting the person like results and getting them, results and taking action as quickly as possible. Something that makes a lot more sense and it's a lot more digestible, I suppose. So then we tried a couple of different like VSLs, a couple of different like funnels, and then we realized like, hang on, we're burning through we've probably burnt almost close to $3,000 in advertising spend, just trying different funnels. Ads performing great, even our funnels were performing great, really cheap leads. We were getting like $1.50, $2 leads and stuff like that.
The people you're going for is people over the age of 25 that have busy lifestyles. Isn't it?
Yeah, the older demographic, the older, like our parents.
To educate themselves,
exactly. And so we realized, hang on, maybe going towards because the reason why we didn't initially just start doing it in a one-to-one kind of setting was because we wanted to build it for scale, which is why we built it as a digital product, so where we could have hundreds of clients at a time, but at a lower ticket cost. And when we realized we were kind of putting the cart before the horse there, trying to sell a lower ticket product to more people, whereas we've kind of taken a step back and realized what we really need to focus on is just getting clients. And we've kind of repackaged our offering, and we're doing more of a one-to-one offering but charging a higher price. So that's where we're at the moment. So instead of charging like $300 for the digital product with all the things packaged into it, it's now $1,000 for like 3 months worth of coaching and then like one-to-one set.
That way you only need 5 or 10 or 20 people.
Exactly, and if we get 10 clients a month, like we're doing 10K a month.
100%,
because our big problem was,
and if you can find them clients, like, I mean, there is so many
mainly organic
founders that just want that education of somebody to tell them.
Like even the demographic you have, I know for me, if someone was trying to sell me like weight loss fitness advice for that price, I'd be like, there's no way I can afford that.
Yeah, but we're not market.
Yeah, but I know.
But the person that's been like overweight and back and forth yo-yo dieting for not years, decades, like they're like, and they have the savings as well.
Like, I could see my mom easily spending money on something like that. Like, I mean, all the demographics who have the money, like they have the money, they have the time, they just don't have the know-how. Yeah.
And our big problem, just to conclude what I was saying, our big problem was basically establishing authority, because we're obviously no customers, we've no proven track record of success. Like I used to do one-to-one online coaching back in the day, but that's completely separate to this. So our problem, just that kind of stuff. So our problem now was, how can we establish authority and like become a thought leader in the niche, having no proven track record of success. So that's kind of what our focus is now with the kind of content we're putting out and the kind of ads that we're running. And then slowly basically funneling people into a public Facebook group that we have, and then basically building like loads and loads of value in there. And the idea is like this Facebook group is so good that people would pay money to be in it, but it's free. And then at that point, like if we have like maybe 100 people in it and they've seen the value, they've seen our expertise and authority, they're gonna be coming to us for it's Jay Abrahams, who's you know Jay Abrahams.
Yeah, of course,
yeah. He has this idea of preeminence. It's basically positioning yourself as the only person who has the answer that you're looking for. And then that way the people are coming to you asking to work with you, and all of a sudden your close rate goes from 20% to like 70%. Because it's not a case of like I need to sell, it's more so the person's just trying to figure out is it a good fit. And that's kind of we've kind of come around like full circle over the last year. It's taken way longer than I anticipated. Me and Kevin, I don't know where we were going with this, but we said fair. We set
two kids.
Yeah, exactly. We set a goal of hitting like 7 figures this year, like the milli, but like obviously we were just like a little bit in over our heads and everything that happened. But no, it's been a good year. Yeah.
Jay Abraham actually has another good thing that he said. I forget the way he phrased it, but he was like, if you had a Facebook group of 100 people, and then he went with the offering, and let's say 50% of them buy, and let's say it's €1,000 product. Like the way he looks at it is, right, then that other 50%, there must be something that they could sell, so maybe like a €20 ebook or something. There's always customers around. Which is pretty interesting insight. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So where are you now? Are you back kind of?
We're back basically trying to build that Facebook group, and we basically
I would suggest trying to get, I think I suggested it to you before, but like get like 3 or 4 ideal people in your audience, like
client avatar.
Like get 3 CEOs that are busy men, and get 3 testimonials off them, and then everybody else will be like, oh, you help them. Just do them for free for 3 months or something, and then get the testimonials. That could work. Would you do that?
So our thing was like because I'm obviously not pushing this through my Instagram or anything like that. Like our big problem, like our big bridge that we kind of had to gap was actually having like an audience or a platform or a channel to actually reach people through. So like we know who we want, we know what they want, which is what we're selling. We just don't know how to get that in front of them. And so Facebook ads is the solution to that problem. But the way we were doing it before was trying to funnel people into like a VSL and like sell them across a 40-minute video, and they're like, who the fuck is this guy? Maybe when we have like 20k in cash to burn testing out different VSLs, we have like social proof and a bit more of established credibility, a little bit more of established credibility. But right now, we've kind of changed our strategy with Facebook, and it's basically to just a little bit more focused on just brand awareness and building an audience directly on Facebook and just getting them into the Facebook group. And then within the Facebook group is where all the kind of like magic happens, or will happen anyway. And then hopefully the dollar bills start flooding in. I mean the clients, but you know what I mean,
just about talking about building an audience there, like obviously you had a huge audience when you were like 16 to 20, or no, probably about 15. What age were you when you?
I started using Instagram probably when it like came out, when I was like 14 or 15.
And I know you hate talking about the past.
No, not at all. No, probably when I was about 14 or 15, and then I used it pretty consistently from when I was about 17 till I was kind of like in college, and like I'd say as I finished school and I went into college was when like it grew the most, and I got up to maybe like 15k followers or like whatever.
Like everyone didn't know who you were, like.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like I'd go out.
Kind of the peak of the Irish shit fan thing, like.
Yeah, like I'd go out. Like I couldn't go out without like 10 times a night being like, Alex, especially Longitude 1 year. I'm not even joking. Not last year. Not last year. Not last year.
What year did I go with you?
You went with us last year,
19,
But the year before that, 2018, I went with like Kyle and Glenn on like one of the Saturdays. And I'm telling you, especially because Glenn was really big back then. And he's still big now, but like he was even big back then. Was just non-stop. Especially because like Glenn's demographic and my demographic would have been skewed towards the young people, like the teenagers coming out of school, and obviously that's the demographic of Longitude. So it was just non-stop. It was just swarms of people. It was like paparazzi all day. One of the lads, Ross, shout out to Ross. I don't know if you'll see this, but he started joking, saying that he was like my bodyguard / PR agent, and to leave like the name and like Instagram handle where the pictures were gonna be posted and shit like that. For a while, just kind of just fucking with people. But yeah.
That must be so weird, like coming from a place where you're like, oh, there walking the street to a demographic where obviously there's alcohol, etc. involved, and all of a sudden everyone's the most confident people ever coming up to you. How did that affect you? Was that like a confidence boost for you?
I love this shit.
Was it like a confidence boost for you? Or for me, I don't know how I deal with it. Would it be like, oh yeah, I'm the fucking man? Or would it be like, would you fucking leave me alone? I'm trying to see J. Cole sing. Like,
exactly. No, so at the start, especially when I first started going out, because I would have been... The novelty of going out in the first place, when I started going out in like 6th year, early in 1st year, going out on college nights, like that was a novelty in and of itself.
Yeah,
for me, I didn't really go out at all during school. I studied loads and like stuff like that. And then there's the added novelty of like people coming up to me in nightclubs and being like, oh, you're Alex, this Alex guy, and like all this kind of shit. And that was kind of like, it was alright. I was like excited about it because it meant like my content was actually at least like people liked it, and like people liked me. So obviously I was doing something right or whatever. Yeah. And like there's some really funny stuff about I did a couple of like leaving cert tips videos that go pretty viral. That went pretty viral, a couple of them, and they always get a spike in views in the lead up to every year. Yeah. It's so funny. But I've had no joke, I've had people come up to me on nights out and be like, oh, you're the leaving cert guy, aren't you? And or like I was in the UCD Global Lounge, like eating Subway, the Global Lounge downstairs, and this guy came up to me and he was like, bro, if it wasn't for you, like I wouldn't be here right now, like in UCD. And I was like, man, no, stop.
Really get me a Subway, man.
Yeah, like a few what?
You asked him to get you a Subway.
No, but what's it called? Yeah, so that was funny, and I still got it. The last time was actually, what's it called? Around Halloween time. What's it called?
Festival.
What? I blanked there.
I know the feeling.
What's it called? But now more recently it's kind of like died down, because I don't post anymore and stuff like that. It's still kind of funny though. You kind of go out every now and again and you're Alex.
Leighton actually told me you were going to be on, so I had a bit of creep. You might have seen me looking at your LinkedIn profile later an hour ago.
Oh, I don't even.
Yeah. And I was checking. I was like, was there a decision that made you think like, I don't want to start? Because what Leighton told me, you were very consistently posting and you grew a big following. Was the decision or a time in your life that made you think, I don't really want to do this anymore?
We talk about it. You just decided you didn't want it to be a part of your life anymore, didn't you?
So like I kind of reached a point where I think a lot of people get when they kind of start finishing college, start thinking about like career and stuff like that.
I remember you were doing your internship.
And I was kind of like, so like what am I actually going to do? Like, am I going to be an influencer? And if I'm going to be an influencer, like how am I actually going to make money? Because as much as like the influencer life looks really glamorous, like they make fuck all money, most of them. Unless they have really big followings, or unless they're a little bit clued in and smart and they're actually selling something, or they're doing some sort of a podcast with a Patreon or like something like that. But that never appealed to me, because you're kind of depending on basically people to just support you for creating art essentially, or creating content, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and a lot of people make a lot of money, a lot of good money
I
doing
think it's
that.
a great thing. If you get the information and on the back, I was actually going to ask first, I know we'll talk about that and continue, but I was going to ask, circling back, did you monetize your audience when you were a teenager? Did you get, like you say, you got one-on-one coaching clients, but anything else?
That was, I made a decent amount off of that, but I didn't do it too much because that was hard to actually do while being in college and actually working. I wasn't working part-time at the time, but
were you getting ad revenue now?
Fuck all, like YouTube's shite for ad revenue unless you're like getting views and views. And then there was the odd like brand or company that would like send like brands just used to send me out shit all the time, which was kind of good. Like, and some people would pay me maybe like 50 or 100 quid. I remember I did this
For a shout-out or
ad
something?
for like bingo. Like, no, not bingo. What's
Huge market that bingo.
what's that thing? Bongo or bingo? What was
Bingo
that?
Loco, no?
No, not bingo loco.
That'd be a good
The
gig.
texting thing.
Oh, Bongo.
And they send you some.
Oh, Bongo man.
Some dumb
geez,
shit.
I remember Bongo man.
Some dumb shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, geez, how did I know that?
Yeah.
Oh, like, who's telling them that?
Yeah, me and my mate Pablo were just in like one of the lecture halls in Quinn, and we just quickly like threw together up a post, and they paid me 100 quid to do it.
That's
Yeah,
easy.
But like they're few and far between. So that was what I realized. I was like, if I actually want to make money and make a career, I need to actually buckle down and just focus on one thing.
So that tied into the decision.
Yeah, and that was around the time as well that I started getting into like Sam Ovens, and I was watching a lot of Alex Becker as well.
Yeah, I
And
watch a lot of him too. I think
and they were very about like, or they talk about this. What's it called? There's this Bill Gates' dad. There's a story of when Bill Gates' dad basically asked Bill Gates and Warren Buffett to write down separately, unbeknownst to the other, what the most important thing was
I
for
just had a conversation
success in
yesterday.
business. And they both wrote down the exact same thing without the other
And if
one
I could have
knowing.
one superpower, it would be focus.
It was focus.
It would be focus.
Exactly. Just focus. And the problem is if you're like doing 5 or 10 different things, let's say you have 10 units of focus. You have like 1 unit of focus into 10 different things. But how do you expect to get anywhere when there's like one cunt that's putting all 10 of his units of focus into that one thing? And that was a switch flipped in my head. So that's why.
I haven't heard that in ages, but
So that's why when you said about the podcast, I was like, man, I would love to, but it's just not feasible right now. Completely not.
No.
And then that's when I made the shift on just focusing on one thing. Because at the end of the day, like, even the fact that I have 13,000 followers on Instagram, a couple of the lads are saying, why don't you use that to like do the weight loss thing? And I was like, man, like that's just not the demographic. It's just, you know,
for a low trigger product, no.
Probably not. Like it's just not what we're trying to do, and it's just it just wouldn't make sense. So just a lot of people would think that building a following is good for if you want to start a business one day, and then you kind of like, maybe if the product that you're going to build has a kind of general or mass appeal, or you build a product specifically for the following that you build, or if you've built a following in a specific niche or something. But if you're just, because a lot of people do social media for the sake of social media and getting followers.
I noticed Hamilton hasn't posted anything in like a year.
Yeah, and like if you like
Alex Becker does
the odd time. But if you look at like the billionaires, they don't have social media. They don't like, you know, they're just focused on their thing. You don't like, and that's why because what really kind of fucked me up was Gary V's whole content, social media content, document. And like there's a lot of truth in that for some people. But you have to kind of think about and be intentional about, okay, what is it that you're actually trying to accomplish? And then devise a strategy to get that done rather than just fucking banging your head against the wall producing content for nobody that doesn't care.
Yeah,
you know,
one thing about Gary Vee, he's not sitting at home editing his videos.
No, exactly.
He's living his life and his team.
He's got like 30
content
people
for
editing fucking content for
so
him.
like
Yeah.
I'd say his screen time is only like less than an hour. Do you know? And you know
For me, anyways, for like we don't have a huge amount of investment like that at some of the huge stationery companies Ketchup would have.
Yeah.
So
Stationary companies.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like the boys who are selling hundreds of thousands of pencils every year.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I have to make sure that my social media, or the social media of my business, is organic and interacts with teachers or whoever's following me. Like I can't just throw a load of money at ads because teachers see that the whole time. So I've been really the past couple of months, past 6 months, I've been just focusing on like make it as best content as you can, and just like flitter these people with content. I was like, as soon as they look at their Instagram feed, I want to see them seeing Acorn Educational. So like I've been I'm not sure if anyone knew, but it's Irish Black History Month this month.
Oh, fair.
So is that just American Black History full stop? Is it not American Black History?
No, we're the fourth country in the world to get like a recognised Black History Month.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, Irish Black History?
Irish Black
Is
History.
there? I wasn't aware that there was any Black History in Ireland.
Not a lot of people knew. I actually saw on Instagram from one of the pages I follow, and I was like, that's very relevant to teachers and educating children.
That's a good angle.
I'm trying to do one post a week, like 6 to 10 slides of just information, and then 2 days later I followed up with a quiz. Packs to be like about like we might have a math and numeracy pack, so that'd be like set squares.
Oh yes.
Alright, fair, yeah.
Set squares, rulers, rubbers,
Yeah.
protractors, stuff like that. And then you might go to like arts and craft pack, which would be glue and paint and clay and stuff like that. And they don't sell. The packs don't do too well anymore. We kind of realized that it's better giving them a choice rather than being like, here's what you're getting. So we've kind of rebranded off the packs and more into special needs equipment is really is our really niche now. And
I'd say that's underserved as well, probably.
It absolutely is.
Like the parents with kids with special needs, they'll pay anything, just want this right product. The money's not an issue. They just want the best.
And we try like our markup on them. Our special, it's a strange business ethics kind of.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say too much about that. Like, I know.
You don't want to be ripping people off.
The business of business is business, as Milton Friedman.
I know.
No, this is a horrible conversation to have.
No, but like, what did?
I mean, ethics is important.
But like, Dave Meltzer is a guy that I follow a lot.
Yeah,
he says make a lot of money. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. But it's to make a lot of money first. Because at the end of the day, if you don't got money, you're not in business and you can't help people. Yeah. So from an ethical perspective, you almost have to be in it for the profit. Otherwise, you're really kind of shooting yourself in the foot in terms of what your impact can be.
Yeah, but Dan Penny always says, well, he's like, if you want to solve homelessness or you want to put people to shelter, like, you need fucking money to do it. Like, no matter how you get it.
I mean, I agree and I disagree. I mean, look at the lads who have all the money, and I don't see a lot of the time that there's not a lot of.
I don't know. I think they do a lot
ethical
of it
behind.
a lot of it behind.
There is definitely, for us anyway, there's definitely a very strict what's ethical to sell to these people and. Like, I mean, we do make money on them, but we're not making like 200% off them. It's anyway. Yeah, it's for us anyway. We're always making sure that, and I feel like that as part of growing the brand as well, I'm trying to make sure that people think that our prices are fair, because you can go on Amazon and you can see people selling shit for mad prices. And I'm like,
some drop shipping website or something.
But even
and this all isn't drop ship. No, this is all.
No. We have all that stock and we pack it and ship it ourselves. Shipping is actually another funny one that I've no idea about, that I've been learning a lot about. Shipping's crazy. Like, it's so weird. But yeah, there's definitely an ethical balance between. So like, someone might be selling something on Amazon for 30 quid, buying for a tenner, and then we'll sell it for 20. I mean, we're still making money off it, but we're not ripping people off per se. So it's strange.
But there's also the idea of like what the market is willing to pay. You know, and like at the end, like there's a fine line. There's a super fine line, especially when like you look at what a lot of like online marketing is nowadays, and you see like people do like the late night infomercial value stack where they like will have like an offering and it'll be like 5 different things, and it's like, oh, the everyday value of this is $3,000, but you get it for $149, and like what they're really selling is just like information. Information
probably
that
their old product.
They probably just bundle loads of old products together. Or like when you go through these intricate funnels with these tripwires and the order bumps, and like I've literally seen people like almost celebrate when like this one person. This is an example where they had like some sort of offering that was, let's say, $200, right? And what they did instead was they took one of the things out of the offering, kept the thing as like $200, and then like added it back in as like a bonus for like another, and like they made more money on it.
Oh, that's hilarious. What was the bonus?
I don't know. It was just something. It was like something, and like it's literally like printing free money. But like you kind of have to, because the example was like in weight loss or in fitness, for example. The example was like, let's say if someone has just bought like like how to lose, like I don't know, like how to lose weight, like ebook, or like how to get a 6-pack ebook, like exercises. Well, if you try upsell them like something else that's related to like how to exercise, they're not going to want that, because in their head they've already solved it by buying this. So then you might want to sell them something else that's nutrition, and then something else that's mindset. So then you end up selling someone like fucking 4 different things, all packaged differently, just to try like make some money. And like it's literally one of those funnels where like you're going through and you want to just buy one thing, and then it's another thing, and it's another thing, and you have to be careful not to press something in case you added. And then I'm I'm all about making money, but like to me, I feel a bit dirty. I feel a bit like unclean by like
I remember I
doing
tried
something
to,
like that.
I tried to cancel my ClickFunnels account once, and like the last page was like, "Are you sure you want to miss out on this huge opportunity to make millions of dollars?" Like, I mean, I'm just like, I just want to cancel.
Yeah, like, leave me alone.
Exactly, I do want to miss the opportunity.
Cancel it, mate.
Literally.
Yeah, just circling in that kind of shit. Did you boys watch The Social Dilemma? No.
No, man, I've been meaning to watch it. I'm a
Is
bit
that,
scared. I'm a bit
it's
scared to
like-
watch it, man, to be honest.
I seen it's
kinda
a
like-
documentary.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, I suppose.
It's like an
It's
infomentary,
kind of
yeah.
like The Great Hack. It just basically goes on about how you should really watch it.
Everyone's selling their data and like how what we see online is based on an algorithm and like we're just kind of fed stuff that we already kind of like yeah.
It is just like how the two of you boys do ads, or you mean,
Look at
still on your website.
Look at the sales, yeah.
Like I mean, I do it all the time. I do it daily. Like if someone goes to one page and then they don't
Cookies.
buy, you just
It's like you retarget them, but that's just
You're gonna get
normal, yeah.
retargeted for looking at my website now as well.
Yeah.
Fucking pencils every day.
Yeah, but all that stuff's normal. That's just like technology
Yeah, I'm
nowadays.
fucking happy. Like I mean, I was talking to someone earlier on the week, and he was like, most people say no to cookies, but I just don't understand it because like the ads that are serving to you are gonna,
What you want.
You're
I know, I'm
I'm
all for cookies. I'm like, yeah, I was like, if I'm looking to buy clothes or something, I'm like, maybe not right now, and I'm scrolling Facebook 2 days later.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm after getting paid, I'll buy that now.
And I recommend everybody should turn on their cookies. And
Yeah,
allow them
cookies,
because,
good
like,
thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be getting ads for stupid shit like.
Yeah, but what's it called? Oh, I just struck another blank there. No, what was it called with the? What about your phones listening to what you say? Because this is.
100%.
I was actually about to bring that up.
No,
I was
100%.
Yeah,
And like
100%.
it used to be that like
It's
you
not
would,
like-
you would
like-
just get ads for something, but like I would like be having a conversation and I'd say something and then I'd be like, let me Google that real quick, and I'll type the first letter and the sentence will just be there.
Actually, that's a good question. What's the most ridiculous stuff that you said or thought about that has been, and then within the next day it's been
just
recommended
like,
on your
it's just
phone?
like I say to the lads, I wouldn't mind a Heineken, I wouldn't mind, or a drink I'd never drink, like a Peroni or something.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'm getting ads for Peroni. Like
The maddest one I ever had, I was talking to my sister about laminators. I was like, Jesus, like I have some stuff I'd love to laminate. I was like, where did you reckon I'd get a laminator from? And she's like, I have no idea. I went on Facebook like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
3 ads for laminators. I'm like, how do they know I want to
But it makes your life
laminator?
easier. But then where do you draw the ethical line? You
Yeah.
know, like because eventually, like it's just gonna like it's the whole idea of like Big Brother is like watching you and if you want to get like real conspiracy
Truman
theory
Show
It
about
is
it.
mad though, like that algorithm knows you more than you know yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Man, it's got like it's
Like, you
monitoring
predict your
like
next
it's
move.
monitoring like 800 like different data points like at all times and like latency and like your everything like where you are like all this kind of stuff. There's this really funny story from a few years ago of Tesco Value Rewards, and basically they started getting recommended for online shopping. Your man started getting recommended like diapers and baby
I've heard the
stuff
story, yeah.
and baby stuff, and like no one in the family was pregnant. And for however reason, they basically the daughter ended up being pregnant, and like
That's
the
crazy.
algorithm just knew it because of their
Because
like
what she was
online,
browsing
because
history.
of the what they were searching and stuff. I think it was
That's some
Tesco.
spooky
No, I
shit.
actually think it was Target.
Maybe it was Target. I don't know, maybe
But
there's
I've heard
probably a couple of
stories.
different
Man, those
variations.
American stores are nuts. I was over in one of my mates was studying in San Francisco, and I went over to him. This was actually crazy. The global lockdown happened when I was in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That was a bit nuts, but
I remember that actually, yeah.
he was studying product design over in San Francisco, and he's like, Amazon over there is nuts.
The
Like,
shops that you walk in. And
Oh,
it
you
just,
walk in
yeah.
and everything's linked up. Even you open your press and like let's say you have like ketchup, salt, and mustard, and you run out of mustard. You just press a button like beside where the mustard is. Mustard's at your door the next day. Like it's fucked. Like you'd be like, oh, like this whole shopping list thing.
Yeah.
We're 5 years behind on that.
Amazon's taking over the world, but you know that Amazon basically runs at a loss on everything it sells.
Yeah.
No, on everything it sells. It makes all of its money from Amazon, from cloud, from Amazon, from AWS, from its web services.
Yeah, from their cloud.
But they're
services.
like, they've got like infrastructure all over the world, and they're just gonna start seeping into every fucking facet of your life.
You
Like,
still have to wait 4 days here to get something delivered though, but you're like,
yeah, literally, I don't even understand that.
it's
yeah,
so
what the hell?
ridiculous, yeah.
Are they still doing the drone thing? Are they still delivering things by drone?
I think so.
I
Imagine-
seen something about that, but I'm not too sure.
Jamie, pull that up.
Kev,
Pull that up.
what was I gonna say? I saw an ad and it was like the dude woke up at 7 o'clock and he noticed he had no razors, and then he just went on his phone and a drone came to his window with razors. Like,
That's fucked.
That's
Yeah.
fucked.
but it is what it is, man. Yeah, you should definitely watch that Social Dilemma. Though.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch.
Like, I've watched The Great Hack now.
No.
Basically just how Donald Trump like.
Oh yeah, with that company. What was that? Cambridge Analytica. Yeah. But like that's why Facebook has changed their policies like a lot when it comes to like political. It makes you like untick a box when you're running ads. Is this about like politics or the election or something like that?
Yeah, a lot of my products even still get turned down.
Flagged?
Yeah, all the time. Even
so do we.
Yeah.
So do we, because weight loss is like it's something that is so hard to advertise on Facebook. I used to do. And I'd say with your stuff.
Yeah, I used to do a bit of marketing for a dentist, man, and dentist images are impossible. Like, it's like a 4-day process to get like a before and after of like braces.
You're not allowed to do before and afters anymore. On Facebook. Yeah,
this was about a year and a half ago. But braces, anything to do with teeth, couldn't get it done.
Anything to do with health in general, they're like a big no-no.
You see, they removed the 20% rule for text.
Oh really?
Yeah,
so you
that
can
was a huge issue for us.
Really? Yeah, I don't. There's not much text in the images I'd be using anyway.
You don't let you have 20%, but now they completely removed that. So like your whole image could be text if you wanted it to.
Yeah, fair.
And like if some companies like a financial advisor or an estate agent need to put like a reg line in it, like ABC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Like they can put that into the image now rather than in the copy because it looks a bit stupid in the copy.
Yeah.
But and that's it. COVID-19. How do you feel?
Yeah, you literally read my mind because I was literally about.
There's the remarketing one.
Because some of my mates are like
super like.
Yeah, and some of the lads are like, no, just fucking open up and just let the world be.
So do you want to know my opinion? And this has been my opinion from the very start. Well, so basically, when it all first started unfolding, there was chaos.
February, March.
Yeah, nobody knew what the hell was going on really. At first, everyone thought it was nothing. Then everyone thought it was fucking crazy. And then we went into lockdown and whatever, a couple of times, some time passed, we realized it's not as bad as people made it out to be. And when you consider how many cases are actually asymptomatic, and you realize that the overall like death rate and even case rate is actually inflated because more people actually have it, but that never actually test positive for it or never know that they have it. And a couple of studies came out of like Miami where basically they found that like, I don't know, a ridiculously high percentage of the population actually had it in comparison to what the official numbers said. So basically, when the second lockdown, when the restrictions started easing off, I was like, okay, this is grand. Like, social distancing, fine. Yeah. Wear mask. I'm totally pro masks. There's mixed opinions. There's mixed opinions on how effective they are, but at the end of the day, they're a minor nuisance.
That's what I said.
Exactly.
If it's going to save someone's life, I don't want a minor inconvenience.
Exactly. But what I don't agree with is locking down the country again. This has been my opinion. If you are someone that is vulnerable, or if you're in a family with someone that's vulnerable, you lock yourselves down, cocoon, minimize your social interaction. Everyone else return to like some sort of normal life. Like that's the best way to do it. I don't see, and even what they're doing, Ryan Mars video on Instagram the other day. That's hilarious. Like, but
that was a very
and you know what got me at the end? You know what got me at the end? There was all the different characters, the pubs, the restaurants, and then at the end it was just the nightclubs
and conference.
Outside. Yeah. But that's exactly it. Like our answer to coronavirus has to be more sophisticated than just lock everything down.
Yeah, like don't leave your house, for sure.
It has to be.
Bullying the nightlife industry. Like obviously I'm hugely involved in the nightlife industry, and like I see the lads and they're doing their best to
give us the night, and your man, what's his name? I forget his name, but they're trying to do a lot of work with it, but like it hasn't been in the conversation whatsoever, like the nightlife industry.
They're just completely
but at the same time, you're preaching to their own people with that stuff, because the demographics of the people in government are very different than the people who go to.
Leo loves the sesh.
I don't think he loves your kind of sesh.
But I think it's more so from a perspective of not even the consumer, but the like business owners that like literally depend on this as a wage.
Look at Cineworld, man, and that's only a small example. Cineworld shut down because of.
That's a pretty big example, to be fair. How many cinemas did it happen in Ireland?
I have no idea.
Only has one.
Did it really? Yeah. Is this the one on Parnell Street?
Yeah, it's a really big one.
Yeah, it was huge. I saw Kanye's album drop there. That was a mad one. Anyway,
No, but honestly, I think especially the nightlife industry, I think they should allow it to be open with masks, with 6 per table, and social distancing. And I think everybody should have the the opportunity to go if they want. And if they don't want to go, if there's someone vulnerable in your family, then don't go. Like.
But like that, because that's what it is. And here's what's the kind of biggest disgrace out of all of this. The reason why the government are even doing this, and like NEFIT made the recommendation that the whole country should go into level 5 lockdown, and it's a matter of public health. That's what they're all about. But it's not a matter of public health. It's to protect the system, to protect the health service, because they have a bottleneck on ICU beds. There's like 278 ICU beds in the country, like 200 or so of which are in use currently.
Okay, fair.
So that's the big bottleneck.
Yeah,
We exceed capacity, then lives are seriously lost. But it's like, fucking increase the capacity. Like, I'm no expert. I don't know what it takes to increase capacity. There's something like you need like a 6-to-1 ratio of nurses to ICU beds or something ridiculous like that. And training nurses and doctors, and it takes like 6 months to basically train a nurse to be able to operate an ICU bed. So that's the big like problem.
Course,
but they've known since
they were bringing in old nurses and stuff.
They've known since February that this was a problem. And so like, I don't know, going forward, I also think fucking Mihal isn't as, I don't know, he's just not as he hasn't been, Leo seemed a lot more was able to like comfort the country a little bit more, better of a spokesperson.
I think he's a much more likable character. Yeah.
Leo's more in touch with the people. Mihal seems a bit like old white manish.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because Leo.
I'm thinking the same also on the podcast.
He's a grumpy shite, like. And I don't know, I don't follow it too much, but like just from what I've seen. But anyway, Ireland, 41,714.
There's been 1,000, and I don't even like at the end of the day, like
1,824 deaths, which is serious. But I mean,
but when you consider that there's been a 400% increase in the incidence of suicide as well,
that's fair.
And like mental health and people losing their livelihoods, a decrease in how often doctors diagnose patients with cancer. Like this is all like human lives as well. It's just not it's not as easy as putting a number on a screen, you know.
And also, I mean, 1,800 deaths, like, in fairness, who am I to say this? But I also think that, like, 70% of those people probably had another underlying condition, like...
No, most of them, only,
or anything.
When you actually delve into it, only 100 of them, somewhere in the ballpark, about 100 were COVID only.
Yeah, and if you ever read, like, the newspaper articles, it's always, like, died with COVID, not died of COVID.
COVID-related death. Yeah. It's so fucked. And especially in America for a period of time... If you got hit by an ambulance, if you got hit by a bus,
I can see someone
or an ambulance, that's a bit kind of ironic. But if you got hit by a bus and you died and you caught COVID while you were being rushed off to hospital, COVID, like that's
really,
because they were basically getting doctors were incentivized to diagnose cases of COVID. The way it was set up in America, they were actually incentivized to diagnose patients with COVID. And then this is just more, but Matthew Cuomo, which is the like governor of like New York, basically he should fucking go down for like the mass genocide of loads of like old people, because he basically just started throwing loads of the infected old people into like the nursing homes, and like they all just caught all under Democrat leadership. Now I'm not gonna get into like politics or anything like that right now, because that's it's a bit heavy for this.
How do you think Trump's
hopefully Trump doesn't watch this podcast anyways.
No, I'm all for Trump.
I'm
pro-Trump. I'm totally pro-Trump.
I think he's got it.
I'm not so much pro-Trump as
I think he gets a hard time, man. I think the media picks on him. He's not a great guy.
I'll give you an example here, right? Putting Trump's character aside for a second. Pre his presidential run, pre 2016 and 2014, he was one of the most loved figures across, like, if you look, like, he was friends with all the rappers, like Snoop Dogg, all the star athletes, all this. I think he stepped away from that relationship. Not that I'm not going to speculate. But as soon as he started running, and it kind of put Democratic leadership in jeopardy, because obviously he was a conservative. Like, the media just turned on him, and Hollywood, celebrities, everyone turned on him.
I mean, the Republican Party hated him as well, man.
Exactly at the start, because he's kind of anti-establishment. He's kind of... You know what I love about him, though? He says what he thinks, and that's something that's kind of refreshing.
He does say some stupid stuff.
He does.
And he does come off as a racist sometimes, but I actually don't think he is.
I don't think so whatsoever. And I think the race card is pulled far too often in political discussions. I think I think attacks on character or opinions on character have no place in the discussion of politics. Because if you want to
he's the one who, what did he kept calling, corrupt Clinton he kept calling her, and what did he kept calling the lads?
Crooked Hillary.
Crooked Hillary. What did he kept calling Jeb Bush?
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe Biden, yeah, but like
that's a personal attack.
Yeah, but
I know
like,
it's hilarious,
but no, because like what the kind of sort of standard nowadays is, if you have an opinion that's not the mainstream opinion, you're automatically labeled a racist, a bigot, a homophobe, a xenophobe, like a pedophile, like whatever. And this kind of personal attack means that like you can't actually discuss the issues, because now you have to all of a sudden defend yourself rather than actually discuss what the issues at hand are. So in the matter of like, say, racism, like if you all of a sudden, because and I don't want to get too political with this, but I completely oppose the idea that Ireland or even America is a systemically racist country, which has been like the broad scale narrative over the last couple of months, given what happened with George Floyd, which is obviously a tragedy, the Black Lives Matter movement, which Black Lives Matter is an openly Marxist organization that's literally a funding arm of the Democratic Party in America. Like literally, if you donate to Black Lives Matter, you're actually donating to Joe Biden's campaign, basically. They're for so many other things other than, like, none of that money goes to the black community. It's literally using social justice as like a guise or as like a facade to basically further just a political agenda. Like they don't care about black communities, they don't care about black lives, because the whole thing has been defund the police. And as soon as that happens, like homicide in the black community goes up 400%. Like more black lives die, but because it doesn't fit the narrative of like America's racist or Ireland's racist or like whatever, people don't care about it. And if you want to even, like what I'm doing now, criticizing it, like someone could just come around and like label me a racist, which like you don't know nothing about me. Like how can you possibly say I'm a racist? You know?
People can make opinions on what you say also. Like if I don't know too much about the whole thing, but I know like if you donating what you're saying there, you donating to Black Lives Matters, you directly donating to the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I don't know. But you reckon that's
100% fact. Like that's true. You can fact check this.
Yeah, but I mean, the Democratic Party have been known in history to have the representation of black and Hispanics more in their views than the Republicans.
They opposed the abolition of slavery.
Never getting into some heavy stuff, man.
No,
we're going back.
They opposed. They opposed they opposed the abolition of Jim Crow laws. They were in opposition to it. It was Republicans, the right, that actually pushed it through. And it was actually, funnily enough, Trump that actually officially the first president to label the KKK a terrorist organization.
Interesting.
So like, and that's what I'm saying, because of the media, because of the narrative, because you hear something that someone said, people read headlines, you get this warped idea of like what's actually happening.
You're getting information from the true sources, and they all hate Trump. So
yeah, but I mean, where is your information coming from in comparison? So we can compare like media outlets, because there's some very pro-Trump.
Well, I kind of stay away. I kind of stay away from like Fox or CNN. I kind of follow a few like figureheads that like when they're making their arguments, they're citing the actual data, and then you can go ahead and fact check them. Whereas when you look at like CNN had this weird thing that like what's it called? Oh, Trump only paid $750 in like federal taxes in like some year, and like everyone was going crazy. I'm like, that's just legal tax evasion. Like that's perfectly legal. Like you can disagree with it.
I'm a huge capitalist. Like I mean, even if he does only pay $700 a year in tax, like he's given so many employment and so many opportunities.
He's creating employment people, and livelihoods for hundreds. He employs hundreds of people.
Yeah, literally.
And they made the example like, oh, the president only pays $750 in taxes, and like a waitress earning minimum wage pays more. It's like, who cares? Like I can start like making loads of these random stupid comparisons.
She's a waitress in his hotel. Like he's given her that opportunity.
Exactly.
To have a job.
Exactly. Like if he didn't,
so
I'm for it. Yeah.
Capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, sustainable capitalism, isn't it? You don't want.
Yeah, I feel like we're gagging up against Dave.
No, I think there's a balanced conversation here, and the truth always lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point having some lads who have an unspendable amount of money.
Sam O'Neill back in on this. I think Sam O'Neill
there's no point having characters with unspendable amount of money, and then there's characters around the world who can't even feed their family. Like.
Well, I disagree there, because at the end of it, if like the people made their money justly or morally, why does one have?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can be worth 20 billion and make your money morally.
I disagree with
I
that.
disagree, yeah.
I completely disagree.
Where you might have a moral intention, but I don't think the way to that level, people are going to get fucked over on the way.
But then we kind of have to discuss what's the definition of getting fucked over or moral, you know? Like what?
I agree, yeah. But I
yes.
mean, morals are to a specific person. But I think if you have all your employees' best interest in heart, I don't think you're going to be worth billions.
Why? Because isn't like
I mean, look at all the examples. I just clearly made a reference to Jeff Bezos there, but like look at his workers. And then you could say the point of get another job.
If he's only paying them 20 grand a year, there's people willing to do the job. So I mean, why?
I get that too.
The market decides what they're willing to work for.
Yes, I know. I mean, we could talk about it all day.
I mean, it makes sense if he has so much money. But as we were talking about, like,
I know, and it's not like he
can.
What?
Like, he's still in debt.
Well,
I mean, he can't liquidise his shares because
So look, I mean, he's just trying to be as cost efficient as possible, and there's people willing to work for minimum wage doing whatever he provided. I think it's fair for them to do it. Because I mean, if he needs them people, he's going to pay them whatever he can. Like, so it makes sense.
Whatever he can, or whatever they get.
Whatever they get, like.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. That's part of the issue, I think. I mean, if you can pay,
someone wants to do that work for that salary, they should leave. I know, understand people have commitments and responsibilities.
But then they
should leave and go find.
Then they go poor, like they go homeless.
Yeah, but it's a fair world, man.
Do you reckon?
No, it's not a fair world. But
it's not a fair world, but you kind of just what's it called? Jordan Peterson has a really good way of putting this. There's this brilliant video of his. It's called Jordan Peterson's Finest Moment. It's about 10 minutes long. Everyone should watch it. But he basically talks about how like you're oppressed. Like you're short, you're fat, you're ugly, you're not as tall as you could be, you're not as smart as you could be. No, I don't mean you. Like everyone's oppressed, you know. Everyone you know is gonna die. Then there's gonna be so much pain along the way and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And what's the solution for it? Well, you take your oppression and you package it into something that I might want to pay with my oppression, and we exchange the value that way. It's not the best system in the world, but it's sure as hell better than anything else that's ever been tried before. And this is like the argument between like communism and capitalism or whatever. It's like capitalism is the worst system that there is, except for all of the other ones that there was. Yeah. You know, that's the kind of idea.
I don't really have any problem with that, to be honest.
No.
Yeah, I think we fairly strayed there from the
original
fair
point.
Enough, but we went from pencils to the Democrats starting slavery.
Yeah. Well, the point that I just wanted to make out there, I just feel like everybody has an opportunity to provide a service or to provide a product. I understand that some people aren't in. Like obviously, I was living at home until I was like 20. I mean, I had so much time, I had no responsibility, so like obviously I had time there to be able to put it into something else.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very similar, yeah.
But I just do feel like, I mean, if you're not happy with your current situation, like there is just so many unlimited opportunities out there for you.
I agree.
Like you have to take a few steps backwards to get there.
It's not wrong to say that certain people have it better than others. It might be more difficult, and your expectation of what you're going to be able to achieve might have to be different than someone else. But I think anyone, or most 99% of people can get to a level where they're comfortable in their life, and because at the end of the day, like
a better situation than they're in now.
A better situation, because at the end of the day, I think when we're having this conversation, it really has to do with financial stability more than anything else.
That's everything.
It's just being able. It is, and that's why I hate people saying that like money isn't everything, because it kind of it kind of is.
It's a means to everything. Yeah,
it's a means to everything, you know. And like when you don't have to like worry about making rent or paying the bills, or if you or someone in your family gets sick, being able to take care of them or whatever, like obviously that's going to add unnecessary stress in your life. Mm-hmm. Now, if you have loads of money but like your fucking relationships are shit, like you're unhealthy and like you're just unhappy and you think that money is going to be the source of your happiness, then that's also not correct. I don't think.
Yeah, definitely not. But you just need to get to some point where you can fulfill. If your goal is just to simply, pay your rent and then go out for 2 drinks on the weekend, buy whatever clothes you want to do.
Yeah.
Just even like whatever that number is to you.
They say about the research that they did. Now this is about 80 after about 80,000 per year.
Which I
more money.
think is quite high.
I think it's quite high.
Maybe that was a Los Angeles.
What's the statistic?
After this is kind of like a study, but like I take it with a grain of salt. Because after about $80,000 per year, more money doesn't equate to more happiness.
So when
now,
you get 80k, you're happy.
You kind of have to take that into consideration. Like, okay, what does 80k mean?
Also, what is happiness?
Yeah, what is happiness as well?
Sure.
Because a lot of people get like a lot of fulfillment from building businesses, making money, and like creating impact. So, but like.
No, I do think 80k is... Well, I mean...
80k is a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, that is.
If you're a dad and you have 3 kids and you want to live in a nice place in Dublin, I suppose, 80k is what's going to keep you happy. But then, I mean, anywhere else in the country, you do not need 80k to
Yeah. Especially if you're just an individual, 80k. Like,
what are you going to do with that? That's why I mentioned 3 kids. Like, you have to provide...
Exactly.
What would you even... I don't know. I don't know.
Look, I just think once you're able to fucking pay your rent, go out for drinks, not worry about it.
Do everything you want to do.
Buy clothes whenever you want. Bring girls out wherever you want to bring them. I think that's just the baseline of happiness. Like, so I don't know.
I think I want
someone to write that down.
I want fuck you money. I want fuck off money.
Really? Yeah,
fuck you money. Like the kind that you're like I'll buy a jet and I'll just fly there. Like I'll like that kind of like
that is fuck off money. Just we're talking jets.
Make it because like
lunch in Paris.
Yeah.
Like because Sam Ovens mentioned this. Once you get to a certain level of wealth, how you think about your business and how you think about your life like just completely changes. You're no longer worried about like getting customers or like growing the business. You're thinking about changing industries and like really shifting fucking paradigms and like really, I guess it's the idea of building like generational wealth or building empires, if that's what like your whole thing is. But like it just like imagine you had like $1 million in the bank right now, like your checking account. I'm not even talking about say this is just your like checking account. And, like that just changed like.
So you've access to like $1 million whenever you want it.
Like it's just like tap. Like that changes you as a person. That changes how you think about life. That changes everything. And anyone that says differently is only saying that because they've never had that much money. They've never had money like that before. Myself included. Not that I'm like rich or anything like that. I'm actually broke at the moment.
Fuck. No, that's it. What would be your number if you could? I don't think the three of us, or including Kev, I don't think any of us want to just hit a number and then just fucking chill out. Like I just enjoy it.
I just think it's always just full steam ahead. It's always just eyes on the prize.
Like I mean, if you got 100 million now, like you'd be happy. I mean, Mr. Wonderful, he said he retired and he retired for 4 years, and then he just said, "I'm fucking bored." Like
wilt away.
And then he's back in Shark Tank.
What would you even do?
He's helping out.
What would you do? Like I need to constantly be doing something.
He went to every beach in the world, which is kind of a cool flex.
Oh, Kevin O'Leary.
Every beach
in the every nice beach. Every nice beach in the world.
It's pretty cool.
I haven't seen him in more than one.
Now he's back.
You would get bored. You would get bored. But
definitely. Yeah.
I wouldn't say like a certain level.
What age is Richard Branson? Like he's
like in his 70s.
He's a mad character.
Yeah.
Richard Branson.
This is what I always said I was going to do.
What about Cuban? He's probably a bit younger.
He's
like I think he's like 56, 57.
Yeah.
62.
Oh.
Yeah. I get into politics. This is what I always said I want to do. Spend my 20s and 30s building businesses. 40s, 50s maybe get into politics, and then 60s onwards I just write books. Write a few memoirs.
That's cool, man.
So that's what the Greeks. If you grew up in like the ancient Greek society, you'd kind of do a few things. You'd like go off and like you'd join the army, then you'd spend some time in like politics, and then you'd spend some time as like a philosopher and like maybe a playwright, a musician. You do a bit of everything,
Yeah, I think that's something that kind of scared me about getting a career. Is like you don't want to be doing the same thing.
Imagine living 9 to 5 for 2 weeks off a year.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to shit on anyone, but like I mean, I couldn't do the same thing for 4 years. Do you know?
No.
Unless there was some.
I think that mindset is actually much more quickly becoming outdated. I know a lot of people in our generation, our age group, are like. I was like, okay, fair enough. You guys worked 9 to 5 for your whole life. But you guys were able to buy a house for $2,000. I was like, I'm not gonna. If I want to buy a house when I'm at any stage young, when I'm ready to start a family, then working 9 to 5 is not going to do it. Like if you want to live in Dublin, if you want to live in Galway, Belfast, you can't just be working a 9 to 5 really.
Well, you can.
Well, I mean, just as a graduate. You can't.
Just not undergraduate.
No, like you need to be making good
like
money.
the banks allow you to have the banks allow you 3.5 times your mortgage, and you just need a 10% deposit, and after that you're good. So if you get up to 50k a year, I mean 150 plus.
20 rack. You need about 30 racks in the bank.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to buy property in Dublin now.
No.
Yeah.
Because there's none there to buy.
No, I'm always looking. You had a girlfriend though, and you combined your incomes, and you got a.
Yeah, but do you really want a girlfriend?
Yeah, do you really?
I'm just saying.
Do you want to take that risk?
Do you really want a mortgage with
someone?
someone?
Or something.
If you leave your ass, you're gonna leave with half.
Yeah.
In the words of Kanye West.
Yeah.
I saw Chris Rock. He was doing a stand-up or something, and he was like, Jeff Bezos got divorced, and is still the richest man in the world. Like.
Yeah, apparently she's not the richest one anymore in the world.
Yeah, she's had stocks in Amazon, isn't she?
Yeah, man, she got like 40 billion or something though.
Yeah, that's mad.
There's the heiress is something. There's someone new now that's worth more than she is. Can't remember who she is.
Kevin, put that up.
Kevin, yeah, I said it in the next episode. I'm actually gonna. I don't know what way we do it. I think we just put Kev. Like Kev needs to be in here, so I reckon.
Yeah, I need to get another camera or something.
Yeah. I mean, put you in on it. I think that'll work well.
Or Kev, you could sit there and like Skype us on that TV, and then we could see you there.
Yeah, because I want Kevin more involved in it. I'm happy that he's doing the camera shit with it. That's my bro, man.
Nice.
Right, I reckon we're gonna finish up there.
Yeah.
It's been just over an hour.
Nice. Sweet.
Touched on some good fucking subjects.
Yeah, we could talk about everything.
I'm glad you two boys got to know each other.
Nice to meet you, man.
You too.
Right, so Alex, genuinely, I really appreciate you coming up, man.
No problem, man. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure. I'm just looking forward to bringing the Onyx nights back, man.
Yes, sir.
That last one,
And
we shut it down. When we shut it down, man, we shut it down. That was crazy.
I think it's a great party. I really do.
Oh, I love it. It's because Dublin nightlife was kind of dying out for a bit.
It was since 2016.
Yeah.
Since
pretty
2016.
much, yeah. Since Trump became president, now
since they shut down Hanger and redid Opium, it's been on the way down.
I did have that in my notes, but we kind of just skimmed through it. But I was gonna we skimmed through it, the whole COVID thing. But like, do you miss the whole nightlife aspect due to COVID? Like,
yeah, man, I didn't really go out that much, but like when I
were you going out much then?
No, not really.
You had you were out at your table, but you weren't allowed.
Yeah, I went a few times. I just grabbed.
Yeah, you got some nice ones. I didn't really go. Yeah,
I went there everywhere. I hugely miss the nightlife industry.
I just miss because talking to people. Like I'm even surprised I can have a conversation with you boys. Like my social skills are like through the floor like right now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's something I miss hugely, and I'm very. I mean, when's this phase over?
Who knows?
Fuck knows.
It's probably not a good sign. That
we're not even a week into it, are we?
Dublin's been.
I think we should go underground with this. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
come on, Lane. You know you can.
Well, we can't do it on the record.
If there was a guy that could hook it, I mean, if there's a guy that could hook it up,
we'll just get like a bus and bring them to like the back of nowhere, like
literally.
Or just do it on a bus.
Do it on a bus, yeah. No, that's it, boys. Dave, I really appreciate you coming through. Dave wasn't actually meant to be here.
No, I thought I was just sitting behind the back. I should look. It was a nice talk.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope Alex will probably be back on again. Dave will probably be back on again. So maybe like 6-7 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd like to have him on with Sam O'Neill. I think Sam O'Neill will be able to give him a good debate.
Yeah.
Oh shit, let's go.
Like anti-capitalism and everything.
Yeah, he has the facts to back.
He probably has the facts. I'll have to come in with my.
He has the facts to back up my talk. Yeah.
I'll wear like one of them wigs that the judges wear.
Yeah.
And then get one of those
order in the court. Yeah, I'll have Kev there looking shit up, fact checking, yeah. Right, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Really appreciate you tuning in, and I will. Me and Kev
share it around.
Share it around. But my mom's calling.
What a great way to end.
Share it around, and also haven't made like a schedule for this yet. Me and Kev are going to chat about that. So we've recorded. Today's a Sunday, but the last time we recorded was a Saturday. So maybe we might start putting them out every Tuesday or whatever, Wednesday or something. So yeah, look out for that schedule. And yeah, thanks for watching.